Do tech investors want to do business in Israel with all the political turmoil right now?
Well, certainly, because the talent in Israel is real. I think Israelis are well known to be very innovative. We have many, many challenges which actually push us to innovate. There are 10,000 startups in Israel, which is one for every 1,000 residents. The highest ratio of innovation. And because our markets are relatively tiny, we're less than 10 million people, then Israeli entrepreneurs go global. The United States is certainly a great station to go, but we're actually going global as fast as possible. And the future, the economic future of Israel is taking our economy going global. And I'm really, really happy to see the high interest in Israel.
Minister, though, to pick up on that point, the high-tech industry, of which you were once part in Israel, has been part of the process and has been taking and has been voicing its active concern about what the government is doing. How do you yourself, therefore, fall on the issue of what is happening here? You got one foot in the tech industry, you got one foot in the government. How are you feeling about those 2 feet right now?
Well, first of all, I'm very proud about the democracy in Israel. To have hundreds of thousands of people from both sides of the aisle go and demonstrate. The Israelis are patriotic. They care. I see this as a good thing. Now, the gaps are not very big between you and I on the technical stuff. And Prime Minister Netanyahu basically said that any things that we're going to be legislating will have wide acceptance, meaning we're focusing on the big challenges of Israel. On security with Iran, on expanding peace with Saudi Arabia, which is a big, huge deal, on focusing on our economy, on quality of and on price of housing and price of goods in Israel. These are the things we're focusing on. And the fact that there's a bit of, political debate and political rivalry, well, that's fine. It's part of a democracy.
That's not a political debate. It's a judicial overhaul. I mean,
it's off the table.
But it's not to be downplayed. This is a huge implication. And at some point, if tech investors are unhappy or entrepreneurs are unhappy, are you worried they leave too soon now?
Well, Prime Minister Netanyahu said, it's off the table. We're going to make some minor changes that are widely accepted. Look, 70% of the Israeli public understands that the judicial system is not perfect, to say the least. So changes must be made, which is fine. Changes are made in all democracies all over the world. But we are a democracy. It's not going to change. And so basically what I'm saying to my friends from the tech world that have on the other side of the aisle, hey, folks, we're a democracy. We believe in democracy. Nobody wants dictatorship. And let's work together in collaboration to make our economy scale and grow. And I see more and more change, both in the attitude. And the world is interested. So it's not going to change. And I do believe that we have a really, really good future.
Minister, if you go to Silicon Valley, though, you, as you say, come across umpteen Israeli entrepreneurs, tech entrepreneurs. Do you think their numbers are going to increase, though? Do you worry that we are going to be seeing, given what is happening in Israel, a bit of a brain drain? It's already happening to a certain extent. Do you worry that that could turn into a flood?
No, I'm not concerned, because here's why. We only have one Jewish democratic state. And, I just in Germany 2 weeks ago, reminding our friends in Germany that I'm a grandparent of Holocaust survivors that lost 30 members of our family in the Holocaust. And there's no other place in the world that is more secure than the Israeli as a Jewish democratic state. We only have one Jewish democratic state. And I'm committed, me, myself, and many, many of my friends, to make Israel a better place. We know that Israelis go back and forth, and some of them go to the valley. Even when I was a student and I was a high-tech entrepreneur, we had businesses in North America, in the valley, here in New York. That's fine. The relationship with the United States, there's a flow of people back and forth, and I think it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. But eventually, Israel is a hub of innovation and will always be a hub for future startups into the future.
You mentioned normalization talks with the Saudis. What's your best guess? What percentage are you putting on the fact that normalization could actually happen?
If you heard what MBS said yesterday and what President Biden and Prime Minister Netanyahu said, this is real. It's a huge opportunity to...
90%?
I think there's a good opportunity that it may happen. There's interest of all sides. The discussion, I'm not going to get to all the details, but there's a lot of progress in the discussion, and I think that there's a huge opportunity to the world to look at the Arab-Israeli conflict and mediate it. It's a huge deal. And I do believe that many economic opportunities will arise from that. For example, there's a discussion to have a path, a clear economic path from India and the Far East via the Arab Peninsula, via Israel to Europe. It's something that will make a lot of sense for transportation and better economy for all. So collaboration between Israel and the Saudis and other Arab countries is, we see it. I can see how it can happen very soon.
Can you quantify, it's probably too early to be able to do this, but could you quantify, Minister, what impact that would have in terms of GDP? How big a bigger beneficiary would the Israeli economy be from that kind of normalization?
It opens up not only the Saudi Arabian market, which is close to us, which is, I believe, over 40 million people. We're talking about other Arab countries like Indonesia and others that follow Saudi Arabia. So we have, thank God, peace with Egypt for 40 years, with Jordan for 25 years. Israel's demonstrated that we know how to create peace and relationship. I think the Saudi deal after the Abraham Accords is a big step towards resolving many of the conflicts in our region. And naturally, all of a sudden you find that you can have a lot of relationship on the technology side and transition, a route for transportation and a hub for more trade. Wonderful opportunities for everyone involved.
Yeah, infrastructure, absolutely. All right.